when you are ready.
Statistics show that in the United States of America, 50% of all marriages end in divorce. 40% of those divorces involve children varying from the ages of 5 to 18 years old. The question raised by these statistics is such: how does divorce negatively affect the children of divorcees in America? Further examination of the educational, social, and futuristic lenses of this issue show that children who endure parental separations are more likely to have negative experiences in social and learning environments in the future. Hi, my name is Kristen Phillips. I'm going to inform you about how divorces affect children's education. Children that come out of divorced families are more likely to experience depression, they act out, and suffer from academic problems. Children who come from separated families or families that have remarried also have harder times beginning new relationships and keeping older relationships healthy compared to those who come from intact families. Children who from divorced families do not have good relationships with their parents, siblings, or peers because they develop characteristics such as low self-esteem. Additionally, youth who parent divorce typically do worse in school and outside of high school are less likely to pursue college degrees or post-secondary studies. While in school, those youths also have increased probability of being hostile to their teachers and peers. They are 5 times more likely to get suspended and or expelled from school and have double the chance of having to repeat a grade rather than kids whose parents are not divorced. As you can see by this graph, intact married families, the children are 20.3% less likely to get suspended or expelled, while those who come from only single families are 50.2% more likely to get expelled or suspended. In 2014, a study was done on 20 Abington High School students in Massachusetts, now at Bridgewater State University, to compare how students from parents who are still married do in school and how students from parents who are separated do in school. The information gathered after 20 students were interviewed was that children who come from divorced families do not perform as well as children who come from families who are still together. They do not do as well due to ongoing conflicts, being withdrawn and blocked communication, and being more likely to develop mental health problems. The study at Abington High School also proved that long-term problems can be caused by children going through their parents' divorce at a young age. Due to these growing developmental problems, there are new behaviors and new ways of teaching to make sure all students feel included, and ways to handle the parents for the students. Families that have children but are still getting divorces are causing changes in multiple people's lives, ranging from teachers to their own children, especially in the educational system. So, how do divorced families affect children's social behaviors?
What if I were to tell you that children affected by divorce are more prone to have negative social behaviors? Hi, I'm Troy Moss, and I'm going to tell you about the negative effects that divorce has on a child socially. Children affected by the separation of their parents begin to see effects of the process before the legal process even starts. Effects caused by arguing and fighting between parents can be seen up over a year before the legal process starts. The divorce process causes damage to a child that can last the duration of that child's life. According to the research conducted by Dr. Jim Hopper, a Harvard University professor who is commonly cited by national media sources as well as doctoral peers for his research on psychological effects of divorce, children divorcees are more prone to depression, drug and alcohol abuse, and social isolation when compared to children of families who do not experience divorce. This graph represents behavioral and social problems in children by family structure. As you can see, this graph shows that children with parents that are not both together are increasingly more likely to have social and behavioral problems than children whose parents have not experienced divorce. Additionally, in a study conducted by researchers from the National Institute of Mental Health, a nonpartisan government agency which leads American research on social disorders, it was found that up to 25% of children affected by divorce either have a substance use problem or depression. It is evident that kids that experience divorce are more prone to negative social behaviors than kids that do not experience divorce.
Hi, I'm Brendan Reagan. I'm going to talk about divorce's effects on children's future relationships. Divorce affects child-parent relationships in many ways, but its effect on children's future romantic relationships is huge. A research done by Michigan State of Adolescent Life, a nonprofit not-for-profit psychological research institution has shown that children with a strong bond with a father figure are more likely to not get a divorce in their future relationship, in their future marriages also. And the counterpart that a marriage, at the same time, children who do have a strong relationship with a father figure are less likely to get a divorce. That don't have a strong father figure are more likely to get a divorce in their future marriages. Researcher Michael Issett, a published, professionally reviewed author of many academic journals on the topic of child psychology, calls the phenomenon intergenerational transmission. Intergenerational transmission is any habits, good or bad, that you pick up from your parents. This proves that divorce negatively affects children's future marriages and increases their chance of divorce in the future. We have talked about divorce's effects on children's future romantic relationships. Now we'll talk about its effects on their child-parent relationship. Coming from Larry Bumpus, a professor of sociology emeritus at the University of Wisconsin and co-director of the National Survey of Families and Households, 2/3 of young adulthood relationships end in divorce. In addition, divorce amongst young adults affects relationships with their parents and can make the relationships dysfunctional. As divorce continues to become more and more common, its effects on society are more important. This graph by the National Survey of Children's Health, you can see the mean of social development at its highest rate with 2 biological parents. The mother only has the second highest mean, and then step parents and others have the third. This shows that a child with both biological parents is likely to have a better social development throughout their lives. All of this evidence leads to our conclusion that divorce negatively affects the future of children affected by it.
To help minimize the effects that divorce can have on children, it is important for those who separate to learn healthy ways of guiding their children through the usually stressful divorce process. One way that the harmful effects of divorce can be minimized is through divorce counseling. A study conducted by the National Institute of Mental Health found that children of divorce who went to divorce counseling have a 50% less chance of developing a social or behavioral problem than those who did not attend divorce counseling. Some limitations to this solution, however, are that some divorced couples don't have the money to afford counseling. Additionally, some couples are so hostile towards one another that they simply can't be in the same room to attend divorce counseling. While counseling is one solution to this issue, our group believes that the best solution to this issue is encouraging children with divorced parents to form new hobbies and habits with each individual parent, preferably those involving the arts and creative expression. A study done by Betty Ackerman, a researcher approved by the U.S. Department of Education for her research on mental illness in families, found that getting involved in hobbies that invoke creative expression helps children of divorce release potential anger and aggression, decreasing the chances of them being aggressive towards their friends, parents, and teachers. Aggression is one of the most prevalent effects of divorce, helping to elevate the usefulness of creative expression in the process of coping with divorce. What makes this solution the most effective is its relative lack of limitations, as creative expression can be a free, easily accessible solution. One of the only limitations of this solution is that single parents might not have the time to aid their child with creative activities, as they spend more time at work following a divorce to help provide for themselves better. Use of professional counseling, and most importantly the use of the arts as a vessel to get rid of aggressiveness and negative emotions, both decrease the detrimental effects that divorce can have on a child and that child's social behaviors.
In conclusion, children that go through divorce are negatively affected by the divorce socially, educationally, and futuristically. Parents, to solve this, parents that go through divorce should encourage their children to learn hobbies and habits in which they express themselves creatively in order to minimize aggression and negative social, educational, and futuristic behaviors that a child could experience as a result of separation. Thank you.
Okay, Kristen. How did the group decide to include Troy's perspective into the overall presentation?
So Troy's perspective was the social/cultural lens. And all of our information went really well with this because he chose to add a very important point from Jim Hopper, a Harvard professor, that a study shows that children show the effects of a divorce before it ever becomes actually a legal problem. So that really set the way for Brandon's futuristic lens and for my educational lens.
Okay. Troy, reflecting on your colleagues' work, Which one had the greatest impact on your overall understanding of the problem that you guys identified?
Okay, so Brandon obviously had the futuristic link, as Kristen said. And when he spoke about intergenerational transmission from an academic journal from Michael Issett, it really helped me understand that these problems, these social problems that I included, like depression and substance and alcohol abuse, they're really prevalent throughout the child's life, and not just during the divorce process itself. It's more of a lifelong impact. Yeah, and affecting the future relationships.
All right. And Brandon, what is an example of a compelling argument from one of your peers' individual reports that you decided to exclude and why?
We excluded Betty Eggman through her creative expression. That was in Troy's, and we excluded that from our overall project, which was, like I said, it was about creative expression, and it didn't really have a part in our project.
Okay. Thank you all very much.